Have you ever built a LEGO zombie mock before? Well, I haven't, and it's a theme that I've been wanting to give a go for a while now. So today we're going to make some custom zombie minifigures, a group of survivors, and a modular building that has been converted into a fortified zombie defense base. First up is this guy, who's wandered his way into the big city to look for supplies. Going from building to building, trying to find food, and if he's lucky, gas for his motorcycle. But while he was rummaging around in an alleyway, he heard the rumble of a horse trotting up behind him. Before he could even react, the rider and another man had surrounded him with their guns drawn. The two men looked to be ex-military. They carried high-caliber rifles and wore body armor. Luckily for our cowboy, they just wanted to talk. And after a lengthy discussion, they decided to group up and build themselves a base. So my idea for the base is to build a detective's office / police station that is completely run down and infested with the zombies that used to work there. I've made a bunch of custom zombies, some with regular police uniforms, and others made to look like detectives. I really love how these guys turned out, especially because I don't actually have any zombie heads, so these guys are all just using some mismatched parts from Star Wars and Lord of the Rings. But I think these heads work perfectly fine here. For our base, I want it to be in the modular style so that it fits in with the rest of my modular LEGO sets. So that means we're going to start with a 16x32 base plate, and we're going to cover that up in some broken up sidewalk to make it look a little bit more apocalyptic than the other sets. Additionally, I'm going to throw in a bunch of trash and random items to make the world look completely abandoned. I made this custom gas canister with a couple of really common parts, and I think it turned out looking really nice for how simple it is. I think it only takes like 6 or 7 parts. It's seriously such an easy build. Okay, so now that the first base plate is done, I'm going to start by building up the first floor of our base. I'm imagining the bottom floor as the standard police station with a jail cell and all the things you'd expect in a police station. And on the second floor, I imagine the detectives having some kind of office up there. So with all of that in mind, I've placed some barred up windows, and I've also added in some wooden planks that the survivors have put up to keep the zombies out. Also, with this wall, I wanted to show the wear and tear, so I've added a lot of small detailing pieces, and even some weeds that are growing outside of the cracks. So now that we're finishing up with the front of the building, we can add in the plain walls around the side and in the back. You're not going to see these at all, so I don't feel the need to detail them. Something I did a little bit different than your standard modular is I've added in this hinged wall that'll give us a much better look at the interiors later on. I really wish the official modulars did this because I just love getting that look into the buildings from the side. But anyways, we're not going to do the interior quite yet. First, we've got to do the second floor. And to start the second floor off, I'm going to make a large balcony or turret on the outside. I really don't know what you would call it, so let me just show you. I've used a technique found in this modular set because I really love how it looks, and in my version I've tried to use a couple of different colors and pieces to make it look more run down to fit the theme. I've also used some wood planks again, this time in dark tan, to make it look like these survivors have been boarding up the windows. And in the middle bit where we have the metal bars, I've added a mounted machine gun to shoot down at any waves of zombies. It's a really simple machine gun, but I love how it looks on the front of the building. Now, I know this isn't the prettiest build ever, but I'm really happy with how this is turning out. And I think the apocalyptic theme kinda gives me more room to make stuff look ugly without it being out of place. Anyways, now we need to make the rest of the second floor. I'm gonna place down some black walls, and again, another hinged wall on the same side. I've left a couple of snot bricks, which we'll use for the inside here in a second. To finish off the exterior of the build, I'm gonna place down this roof, and now we can move into the back alleyway to add in a couple more details. I'm going to build them a little garden, and I'll also place this stickered piece to add in an overhang to the back door. I believe this piece was originally meant to be used as like a ramp or something, but I think it works perfectly fine here. Okay, so now that the exterior is complete, we can move into my favorite part of the build, the interiors. This shelf was super fun to design, and it will hold a bunch of different stuff like another gas can, riot gear, and even some canned food. I absolutely love how this floor turned out. The wall-mounted details were super fun to design, and posing the minifigures in here just makes me love it even more. I'd honestly love to do a whole video of just making different interiors like this one. It's just so satisfying for me to see a room come together. It's honestly one of my favorite parts about mock building. So anyways, now that we're done here, we'll move down to the bottom floor to finish up the mock. Like I said earlier, this is the basic police station floor, so I of course will be adding in a jail cell, but on the inside of the cell, I'm going to put all of their fresh food from their garden. And outside of this cell, we'll place down a couple of empty bottles and the key. Now, because I want this floor to have a lot of room for minifigures to move about, I'm only going to add in one more detail. This computer desk with a map of the city behind it. And to power the computer and all of the lights in the building, I'll place this gas-fueled generator outside. Unfortunately, I think it looks a little bit more like a boombox than a generator, but hey, it does the job. And we are now done. Now look, I don't think this is the prettiest mock I've made so far, but this one was just so much fun to build, especially those interiors, and I'm just glad that I finally did a zombie mock. Because it's just an itch that I've had for a while, and it felt really good to just kind of get in there and make something that I'm not used to. It was of course also my first time making a modular building, so that was just a fun new challenge for me. I would love to do another one of these sometime in the future. Maybe building an overrun hospital or a military base would be cool, but I don't know, we'll see. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, thank you so much for watching.